But imagine having to worship.
So, anyways, guys, I just realized that Alex
under
Jones
his
was
arms and
blocked
in
on
between his feet and under
YouTube,
fat
Instagram,
Beautiful young women, the flower of
Spotify,
beauty,
and many
productivity,
other
fertility,
alternative
the
media
goddess.
outlets
Archetype
that he
gauge.
uses for his
Humiliating the goddess instead of putting it on
main
a pedestal.
following, his base, his fan base following on social media. And
children, defiling women,
2 months
and there's
ago
other
in
cults that are about
June,
defiling strong
around the
warrior
beginning
men,
of June, you
injecting them
had
with
the
vaccines,
Vatican
betraying them, screwing
Cardinal
them over.
Secretary of State
They've got
meeting
this
with
whole thing,
the
an
Bilderberg
energy-sucking
group.
vampiric system set up.
And now, all of a sudden, 2 months later, Alex Jones gets knocked out the web. And now he's talking about the Vatican, he's talking about the pedophile rings, he's talking about the human sacrifice and everything. Trip out, listen.
Black magic. And in all the black magic movies, Harry Potter, all that stuff thrown in your face, what do they want to do? They want to poison people. They want to steal their essence. They want to steal their... Pretty good film with Tom Cruise, a legend. They want to kill the unicorn. They want to kill the innocents. But the unicorn won't get close to the little demons, so they can shoot it with a poison arrow and steal the horn, to steal hope and steal creativity and life. They have to get the beautiful goddess, the beautiful young woman who's so innocent, the little 15-year-old girl going into womanhood, to bring the spirit of innocence out, and then they can get, and that's what Hollywood does. Beautiful young women, handsome, strong men. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, the best people. And all it is like a trapdoor spider waiting behind the web with a little piece of food it leaves out for another bug to come by.
You guys listening to
when
this?
that little bug comes by. So this is all about a predator class feeding on humanity. This is all about a predator class that has set up a world that H.G. Wells wrote about.
It's a reptilian cult. The cult of the Black Sun.
The Eloi and the Morlocks.
The Eloi and the Morlocks.
The Eloi are beautiful and sweet and nice but innocent in the garden above. And the Morlocks come up and grab them and literally eat them. And by some twist of fate, the innocent, beautiful Eloi lived in fear and were the prey of the ugly and grotesque but conscious of their evil Morlocks. Who you then learn were
I can't
once
believe
Eloi,
this is happening.
but went below
Alex Jones spin the truth, guys.
and turned into the sharp-toothed
If you thought he was a pretty fucking extremist before, he's spinning the truth. Now he's over here talking shit about the Vatican and everything.
All of us are Eloi and a Morlock. That's why the enemy doesn't like me.
He knows his time is limited. He knows that he has to get the truth out, and so he's spinning the truth, guys. And now the Vatican's trying to fuck with quantum computers.
They all aspire to be
to try to manipulate our reality, to try and buy time for themselves, because they know their time is over, guys. Their time of evil on the earth is over.
Don't have access to it because they couldn't even handle it.
But check this shit out, guys. Listen to Alex Jones, what he's talking about. It's tripping me the fuck out.
Technological computer power.
Because Alex knows who runs the world. He's not a fucking stupid
give
man.
Them the sight.
And now he's coming out with this. He wasn't talking about this last month, the month before.
These are truly the most fallen of the fallen people, and you don't want to be in their system. My view. Now, I haven't got into this. We got a state rep joining us that's spearheading exposing the giant pedophile rings that are now coming down. Praise God, praise Jesus Christ, praise all of you. I mean, thank all of you that have taken action and told the truth. The whole thing is circling its own destruction. The whole thing is coming down. They're blackmail rings, all of it. They're having their bluff called. I'm calling their bluff. You're calling their bluff. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be a lot better than going through with them in charge. This is all happening because they were about to go to the next level of oppression, and instinctively, spiritually, our ancestral programming kicked in, those of us who've been in this trance, and we are now rising. Because every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, Newtonian physics, and you are that reaction, so that's coming up. CNN, by the way, Infowars.com is calling us terrorists. They now say complicit in domestic terror. They want me arrested. So does MSNBC. They're just unbelievably criminal. I'm going to call later for CNN to be deplatformed off Facebook, Google, Twitter, because according to their yardstick, I'm not really a censor. I'm not saying do that. I mean, they're the ones with famous fake news caught doing all this. They should be deplatformed. They lied about WMDs. They faked debate questions for Hillary. They've been caught doing it all. So they should be taken off the air. You know, when Trump just talks about them being liars, they say he's trying to censor them, but they're running around as the real censors. This is a group of followers who've been hired for multinational corporations, the Chi-Coms, that will do anything, and they will fight. You go to CNN, there's like one article about the pedophile rings. It's their job to obscure all that, and a bunch of articles about how I'm bad and I'm calling for violence, and then no video, no proof. All right, we're going to go to break here. We're going to come back. Thank you all for your financial support. We got great products you need anyways. If you're not going to InfoWarsStore.com and getting some of the great products, go there and click on support and send a donation. $5, $100, whatever. If you're middle class or wealthy, you're crazy if you don't double down and support us. Because, I mean, I am a war machine when it comes to taking on the globalists, and I am totally committed. And I'm just telling you, you cannot fuel a political weapon system that is more dedicated and more savage and more aggressive and more effective than InfoWars. We are number one enemy of the globalists. We need your funds now. InfoWarsStore.com. A lot of great deals running right now. There's no excuse. Get in there. We need your support in this epic war against censorship, where you can make a contribution. Go to the donation portion of the site and send us $50.
Now,
$100.
Alex Jones becoming UTI, guys. Alex Jones is TI now, guys. Now that he knows he has to speak the truth, now he's talking about the Vatican exposing the pedophile rings. The same shit I've been trying to tell people about. I think I'm gonna click up with Alex Jones, guys.
Whether we win in 2018 and 2020, whether we can keep the new American Revolution going, whether the free ideas expressed here at InfoWars are allowed to continue, are really up to you. The entire question is up to you. We need your support. We do not exaggerate the stakes or the dangers. We are not crying wolf. Please go to the Infowars.com site now and support us with your dollars.
Leading a frontal assault on the lies of the New World Order, it's Alex Jones. He aligns himself with the truth, and it's time for you to choose a side. You're listening.
So I downloaded his app, his Apple app. And this is the only way I'm able to hear him now, because he doesn't have a YouTube channel anymore or anything like that. It's crazy, guys. Let's see. Now listen to what he's talking about. He's really upset. He knows he was blacklisted by the Pope.
Second hour. In a few minutes, Representative Mark Rossi, who's been spearheading exposing the giant pedophile rings in Pennsylvania and other areas like tentacles spreading out across the country, is going to be joining us. And I'm not a Catholic, but I know a lot of great Catholics, and my wife's family are Catholic, and they're wonderful, hardworking, great people. They're pro-life, but you've got the pedophile rings that try to take over every major institution. And so when I point out that it isn't just a Catholic problem, I do that because only the leftist media started exposing it after we exposed it over a decade ago, because they thought they could take over the Catholic Church, which they've done with this new Pope, who even the Guardian admits he used blackmail to get control. His deputy Pope got caught and is now in a trial, reportedly kidnapping and raping over 100 kids and sending them around to blackmail and control people.
You guys hear this?
It's important to note that this is something they're using in governments and intelligence agencies. This is all over.
Oh, it's personal for Alex Jones now. He knows he was blacklisted by the Pope.
1,000 children. Pennsylvania priests recommended for Disney World job after sexual abuse allegations, grand jury report says. USA Today. Chile asked Vatican for information on sex abuse cases. 3 ex-Penn State officials get jail terms in Sandusky abuse case for cover-up. U.S. Cardinal steps on a man widening sex abuse scandal. 301 predator priests named in Pennsylvania grand jury sex abuse report. They were raping little boys and girls. CBS News, Pittsburgh. Oral sex, then holy water report documents abuse by priests. State Rep Razi, child abuse is not just a Catholic problem. Survivors advocates rallied in state for statute of limitations reforms, and that's the key. Go after all the bad Catholic priests that are really just globalist, leftist weirdos that took control of it because they can control it and get away with it there because the authority they'd have. It's in a bunch of other institutions like Hollywood, and big Protestant churches have been caught, and you've seen it in the news and universities, and it's out of control because the normal people can't imagine this. It's been festering. We're going to break in just a few minutes.
Good he's talking about
I want to say
guys.
this is a nightmare, but at least it's starting to come out. You've been at the tip of the spear of this, along with the Attorney General of the state. This is just in the 2 minutes we have to break. In a nutshell, I think what you're saying is you guys have only discovered the tip of the rotting iceberg.
Absolutely. I mean, we know more information is going to be coming down the pipeline here, but you said it correctly. This child sex abuse is not just a Catholic clergy problem. It's across every institution out there. It's just that the Catholic hierarchy, what they've done with this child sex abuse, and the abuse isn't even the scandal in this report. The scandal is that the hierarchy, they protected these known perpetrators. They moved them around. They protected the institution's reputation and assets before ever protecting one child. And that's what this scandal is about here. The numbers, the sheer numbers. I mean, when you read over 1,000 child victims were identifiable from the church's own records, that must mean there's thousands of victims out there. And it's because they allowed it to go on. But, we have legislation that are looking to hold them accountable. And we're going to be looking to push this hard coming up in the session in September.
And again, the reason it gets covered up in institutions is even if other people aren't involved, it's so damning, you tend to sweep it under the rug. So these pedophiles tend to go towards universities, big churches, other institutions, medical stuff. You're always seeing medical people doing it because that's where they gravitate to get away. Schools, it happens in public schools.
Yes. It's access. It's access to children. And then when you have, superiors or hierarchy or leaders, whether it's in the school, whoever, and when they decide to protect that reputation first, what's going to happen. More kids are going to be abused down the road.
That's right. And then other vampires come into the mix. We'll be back in 60 seconds with Representative Mark Rossi.
There it is, guys. That's what Alex Jones talking about. Ever since the Vatican decided to blacklist his platform, his alternative media platform, he knows he has to speak the truth. No more fooling around. And so, yeah, guys, this is what happens when you speak the truth. You get blacklisted. I mean, no matter who you are, they'll make you poor. They'll make you out. They'll do everything in their power to bring you down, to pretty much demoralize, degrade, dissolve, and destroy. It's run by these guys, these reptilian dudes. They're the ones that are behind it all, guys. They love eating children. They eat children, guys, these reptilians. They're fucking pedophiles, yo. Trust me, I've been around these motherfuckers before. Anyways. Tuning out.
So what's really going on is that all of that is managed in this dimension by the reptilians. They're the ones that control all of that shit. The shadow people, the ghosts, they're the ones that allow that portal to be opened.
Oh, them?
Yeah, because of what they're doing. They're doing so much fucking evil that it attracts those fucking entities into our dimension. And some of them, they can't leave because they learn to adapt, right? Animals do that. It's called habitat adaptation. Right, you move to another habitat because you don't have enough food in one area, so you have to fucking move to an area where the berries grow. That's what animals do. Well, that's why they keep coming back, these dark entities or these unclean spirits, because there's food here for them. There's assured supplies of food. Because everybody's ignorant. They don't know their own power. They don't know nothing. They don't even know that their names don't even represent themselves.
You must be able to see it, Mr. Anderson. You must know it by now. You can't win. It's pointless to keep fighting. Why, Mr. Anderson? Why? Why do you persist?
Because I choose to.
They want to take the whole world down with them. And they're about to do it, bro. With 5G, they're already doing it. Because again, they're manipulating the very essence of our existence, light and sound. You don't believe me? One perfect example of the control will be your television set. What does it do? It produces light and sound, does it not?
Yeah.
You flick it on, but when you flick it on, nothing really happens to the TV. It's still there if you think about it. It hasn't moved. The only thing that happens is it switches on.
I don't know, yeah.
And what happens when it switches on? Sound and lights come out in the form of images, right?
Yeah.
You see how they're manipulating your reality? And if you turn off the fucking television, if you focus on the television, especially the flat screens of today, they're fucking scrying ears that witches use to fucking contact demonic entities, or by which portals can be opened, utilized by demonic entities to come into our reality, into your homes.
There are hundreds, even thousands of us here. We traveled light years throughout the universe, always surviving, always growing stronger.
Only unity guarantees survival.
The human race left to its own devices is doomed.
Accept it.
It's a better way.
Sit back.
It's a matter of survival.
Sit back. You're never gonna get my soul.
Abandon yourself and join us.
Put it down.
Never.
No souls for sale here, mate.
This is Sparta!
They say
This is where we fight!
himself to be a wise man.
This is where
The
they
wise man
die!
knows himself to be a fool. I say that to say this. You might take my life, but you can't take my soul. You can't take my soul. You might take my freedom, but you can't take my soul. You can't take my soul. You might take my life, but you can't take my soul. You can't take my soul. You might take my freedom, but you can't take my soul. No, you can't take my soul.